Hey there, Knicks fans. I'm Harris Rubenstein for NBA Weekly. The NBA draft is just 17 days away, so there are plenty of Knicks news and rumors to go through. So without further ado, let's get into our first news item. The Knicks have hired Royal Ivey, a former assistant with the Oklahoma City Thunder. And if you're wondering why is that name so familiar, well, Royal Ivey was actually an NBA player for a little bit over a decade. He played for 4 NBA teams, including the 76ers, the Atlanta Hawks as well. So he's been around the block. He also played for David Fizdale when he was an assistant with the Hawks, meaning Fizdale, and he's also a New York City native. He went to Cardozo High School deep in the heart of New York. So welcome back to New York City, Royal Ivey. I think it would be a great asset to the new coaching staff. Let's get to headline number 2. Ron Baker. Yeah, baby. We're talking about Ron Baker. He picked up his player option, only worth about $4.5 million for 2018. And he didn't really do anything last year. Only averaged 2.4 points per game, 1.6 assists, and a rebound in 2017. He only played in 29 games also. If you remember, he famously got smacked in the face by Anthony Davis and then ended up missing most of the season with a shoulder injury. He went undrafted in 2016 out of Wichita State. But Ron Baker returns as the 9th or 10th man on the Knicks bench. Let's get to headline number 3, and this is one I think is a little bit more concerning for Knicks fans out there hoping the team will compete next year. It seems that the Knicks are targeting the summer of 2019 to start picking up some big-time free agents, saying, quote, from their GM, "We're setting ourselves up for the following summer." Now, it makes a lot of sense. The Knicks are only on the books for about $64 million in 2019 and 2020. Porzingis needs an extension, but after that, there's not a lot of people on this team that are going to require a lot of money. I'd be surprised if Frankie Smokes is going to get an extension that's going to be a considerable amount. So expect the Knicks to try to open up 2 max slots for that summer. And hey, looking ahead to 2019, there are plenty of guys that they could give that money to. They could give it to Klay Thompson. If he somehow leaves the Warriors, maybe they look at a Karl Anthony Towns. He's having some front office dysfunction with the Minnesota Timberwolves. Kemba Walker, another native of New York, could be coming back to the city. I actually put him up in one of our trades. If you go check us out on YouTube at Chat Sports, make sure to give us a subscribe as well. DeAndre Jordan and Miles Turner will also be free agents, though. We'll see if DeAndre Jordan is available. He might sign a multi-year deal this offseason with his player option. All right, let's get into some rumors. Are the Knicks eyeing Trae Young? This is an interesting one. We've talked about Trae Young before with the Knicks. We're going to keep this one at 2 crying Jordan heads for now, simply because I don't really think it matters that much, because it's not very likely that Trae Young is going to be on the board at number 9 overall. They've now had 2 interviews and private workouts with him so far, and apparently the Knicks traveled down to Oklahoma to interview his coaches. So there's some serious interest here for the Knicks, but if they want to draft Trae Young, they are most likely going to have to trade up into the top 6. The Orlando Magic have a lot of interest in him, and they are picking at number 6 overall. Let's get into our second rumor. Do the Knicks finally have a timetable for Kristaps Porzingis? Well, kind of. We're giving this one 3 crying Jordans. They now have a timetable for when they're going to have a timetable. So now the Knicks are telling us that they have a specific timetable in September for when KP is going to be able to come back. He is still expected to be out until early December. Now, I've seen a lot of YouTube commenters asking why it's going to take Kristaps so long to come back from this. Well, remember, he tore his ACL in February, pretty early in February, so February 7th. And also, he's massive, so he can't just go through the same rehab that an NFL player might be who's, a 6'1", 6'2", or 6'3", normal-sized human being. No, Kristaps Porzingis is 7 feet, so his rehab is going to take a little bit longer, and his overall physical therapy is also going to have to be a little more extensive. That way his body can hold up when he comes back to the NBA. 7-footers are not normal people. They have to do everything a little bit extra. Let's get into rumor number 3. Do the Knicks love Wendell Carter Jr.? Now, we've talked about him a lot as well with the Knicks. We're going to give this one 2 crying Jordans as well, like we do with any player to team connection in the draft. But apparently the front office is quote-unquote enamored with him. Now, I've talked multiple times about how great of a fit he would be next to Kristaps Porzingis. He would bring a defensive stalwart to that front court and just be an overall great option down low for the Knicks. He has a lot of potential. My player comp for him, or at least what his ceiling could be, would be Al Horford. And we just saw Al Horford get second All-NBA defensive team this year. He was was fantastic for the Celtics all year long. I think Wendell Carter Jr. could be that type of player, but again, it is unlikely that he will be on the board at number 9 overall. I think he might go 7 or 8, maybe go to the Bulls right ahead of the Knicks, but it remains to be seen. But as of right now, the Knicks do indeed love Wendell Carter Jr. But before we head out of here, we want to know from you guys, who should the Knicks draft at number 9 overall? There are plenty of options from one of the bridges, being Mikal or Miles. You guys have been yelling at me that you want a wing in the draft, so now is your chance to really let me know who you guys think the Knicks should take in the upcoming NBA draft. Again, it's in 17 days, so the countdown begins once the finals ends. But that's going to do it for me today. You can follow me on Twitter at SportsThean for all your NBA news and updates. And remember to subscribe to Chat Sports on YouTube so you can get a notification whenever we got some fresh Knicks content for you. But that's going to do it for me today. We'll see ya.